Hi everyone, this is Oracle of Celestial Light, and it's been on my mind recently about the upcoming winter solstice and what that means for people. I've just been getting some intuitive hits and insights that I want to share with everyone. So I'm feeling like this winter solstice, which is on December 21st, it's kind of like a portal or like a new beginning where we can start afresh and anew for our lives in a very big way. I was feeling like in we're going in deeper into the winter. I know a lot of us are already experiencing snowstorms and ice and all of that stuff, but the winter solstice is bringing like a peace and a calmness. And in that peace and calmness, there is opportunity for us in that. When you think about the olden times when we had winter, there was, we couldn't move around as much. We would stay at home, eat the food and the everything that we stored from growing over the summer and everything like that. But nowadays we're in this go-go society, always rushing, and it doesn't allow for that natural, peaceful state of just quietness that the earth tends to have when everything is covered in snow and there's that stillness and peace. And yet, even though the trees don't have leaves anymore, nothing is dead. In that, things are still happening. There's this current, this energy underneath that is going on, which allows spring to happen. Because if everything was dead, there would be no spring. That just couldn't be so. And so, in my meditation, I thought of it as like a seed planted in the ground. And snow has insulating effects, so that's why people would make igloos, and you can stay warm in the igloo because you would make the igloo, and then as long as you made like a higher platform inside the igloo, it would allow you to stay warm and survive your travels during the wintertime in that snowy place. So what I was feeling is that there may be things in our lives, like in the past, things that didn't come to fruition, seeds that we planted, hopes and dreams that we had, that we thought were dead, there was no chance of happening. But I feel like during this winter solstice, there is a chance of it, like the manifestation of it possibly happening if we're able to connect to and tap into deeper parts of ourselves. Connect during this time, whenever you have time for quiet and peace, you can connect to yourself on a deeper level to experience a higher growth within yourself and a higher knowing and belonging and truly coming into who you are as a being, as a person in this lifetime. And I feel like it's really important to be able to be still, to hear and listen to yourself, truly coming into contact with who you are, feeling that, and not shying away from the parts of yourself that may make you cringe, so to say, or be ashamed, or think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't act that way. Truly seeing yourself and accepting that and knowing that you can grow from that. So I feel like this winter solstice can hand us the key to self-mastery, and where we can see how we act, our emotional state, our emotional being, and then we're able to not act from a place of something happening and then we immediately react to it. No, we're able to see it. Maybe we still have the emotion. Most likely we do still have the emotion, but instead of immediately reacting, because of this self-mastery, we're able to think first, plan, see how things will happen if we act certain ways, so that we're not ruled by our more base emotions. And this self mastery allows us to move in life as we want to be, to manifest the things that we want to be. So, like I was saying before, these things that may in the past that we may have put to bed as never happening, being able to happen, those blessings, I feel if we're able to reach self mastery, we get that key to unlock these blessings that we thought were dormant. And they're going to be able to, in the upcoming year, to manifest for us. But we need to reach a certain state inside of ourselves to be able to make that be able to happen. And I'm seeing winter solstice as being the beginning of that, as the doorway, the opening point for us to reach our goals and our self mastery. And we're going to be able to work with this during the winter. And then as everything starts to warm up, we can possibly start seeing the things that we thought were dormant or not going to happen, our seeds of growth, see it manifest in a real way. Also, so I want to do an oracle reading for the winter solstice just to see any additional messages that may be coming through for anyone listening. So I just thought of like a little spread. It's going to be a 3-card spread. I'm going to use 2 different oracle decks. I'm going to use the Lightworker Oracle and the Maiden's Will. And the first card in the middle is going to be the winter solstice main theme. The card on the left is going to be help on our path. And the card on the right is going to be any additional messages for us. So I'm going to start by shuffling. I already prayed over the cards to give everyone listening guidance and messages for their highest good and benefit. So we'll see what we get. I'm going to shuffle the first deck, the Oracle, the Lightworker's Oracle. Okay, I laid down the Lightworker's Oracle. I'm going to shuffle Maiden's Will. Okay, I'm going to look at Winter Solstice's main theme now. So we have from Lightworker Oracle, 7th Ray of Ritual, Order, and Ceremony. And from the Maiden's Will, we have Sacrifice. So, first card is interesting. We have like a whole bunch of people. Some people are like bending over. Actually, I think it's the same person. It shows her first bending over, then she's kind of rising, and then she's totally risen here, and her arms are stretched to a golden light coming down. And the parts of her that are bending down is darker there, and as she's rising, it gets lighter for her. And for the Sacrifice card, it shows a woman. She has feathers in her hair. There's a bird, a crow, and it's looking at what is like her exposed heart. And there are 7 swords in her heart, poking her heart. So what I'm getting here is like arising from pains of the past. There was a lot of pain in the past and a lot of hurt, but through this winter solstice, this can change. Like, we can put to bed those things with work. I'm getting that this is going with what I was saying about self-mastery. This person here, her bending down and looking down and kind of like slumped over, is her when she is tormented basically by like her things that have happened in the past, things that have happened to her, her own emotions that she's gotten, and things she's felt from the things that happened. And as she is rising, even with all of this pain that she has felt, she becomes lighter, and her world around her becomes lighter. And the more she releases that old stuff, the more she comes into her own, the lighter she feels, the closer to she is to her higher self, her higher being, and her higher power. Okay, let's look at help on our spiritual path. So we have Earth Healing from Lightworker Oracle, and we have the Spiral. So in Earth Healing, we have a child here as a little boy. He has a little teddy bear with him, and it's like he's on a road. It's like a forest path, but there's an angel reaching down to him and handing him like a roll, and he's reaching out for it. And the spiral, we have a woman. She has kind of like a beautiful mystical looking cloak around her hair, and there's an owl with her, OWL. And there's also an owl feather in her hair as well. And there's a moon in the background. So what I'm getting from this card is that there is divine guidance, divine healing. There is healing for your inner child here. Even when you were even as a child and you experienced maybe bad things or things that were not of your highest good and benefit, there was always your teams, your Christed teams looking out for you. And you probably were more receptive to that as a child, because how easily this child is just reaching out and grabbing this scroll from the angel and receiving that. So I want to read the spiral from the book here. Let's see what it says. It says, "We are conditioned from birth to think that everything happens in a linear fashion. This way of thinking throws us out of alignment with nature. There is one dominant pattern all over the universe, the spiral. When we can reconnect with the spiral, we align with our soul's purpose in the rhythm of creation. The Welsh goddess, Arian, is connected to the wheel of the stars, seen in the sky as the ever-turning spiral. She teaches us to follow the spiral and not the soul-draining march of past, present, future. Today, you are called to meditate on the spiral. Sometimes when life is not going as planned, it is hard for us to see the bigger picture. If we could fly high above and have the eyes of the owl, seeing light in dark places, we would see the design of our lives. The pattern of our lives is not laid out in a straight line, but in a spiral. We often loop back over and over to reconnect with things from our past. Sometimes we feel stuck in a loop, and we don't feel we are making progress. This belief that progress is something that comes in the future. What causes us to be stuck, as this concept of the future is an illusion. If you can fly high above not only your life, but also the lives of your ancestors, again, you would see one giant spiral. We loop back, fold in, and touch the lives of our ancestors every day. DNA is a coiled spiral, symbolic of our relationships with our ancestors. We hold all their knowledge within us. We are not caught in a loop, but are a part of this living ancient spiral. All the inspiration you could possibly glean is within you, a part of you. It is coiling and reaching for the sun like an ivory plant growing higher and higher. Step outside of your linear march. Fly high into the stars and look down on this beautiful spiral from which you are an integral part. Know you are of this whole unfolding. Your purpose here on this planet is at the center of this beautiful spiral. So it sounds like I was saying, things from the past. So things from the past, even though it was a long time ago, may feel like it's relevant in your life now. And so like hurts from childhood, or even things, happy memories from childhood, can feel like they were just yesterday. And being able to recognize that and heal that, and know that life kind of, like the book said, folds in on itself. And because of that, you have the opportunity to heal these things, even if they were 20 years ago or longer. It's within you to heal that and move on, or even to tap into blessings and gifts, like I said earlier, that you thought were gone, but they're actually still here for you. They still have the opportunity to manifest in your life. Okay. All right, I'm going to look at any additional messages for the winter solstice. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we have Wisdom of the Divine Feminine from Lightworker Oracle. And we have Acceptance with Lilith. Okay. Okay, so Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. It's a lady she has kind of green hair. Well, actually, it looks like there's just flowers growing out of her head on, stems and everything. So the stems are like the green hair, and she has beautiful flowers coming out of the stems growing. And for Acceptance, it's a woman with, it looks like she has wings, and she also has an owl with her. And there's also kind of a blue snake on her, like a pattern on her dress that she's wearing is part of the fabric. It appears to be. Let's see what I'm picking up from these cards. So I'm getting here Divine Feminine and Acceptance, tapping into the quiet moments, tapping into that subtle energy, being able to kind of have moments of just being. And the Divine Feminine, she is very wise, she is very calm, she is very relaxed in her being, and she is accepting of things in a way, in a very healthy, positive, boundary way. She doesn't just accept anything. But it's reminding me of what I was saying about with the winter solstice and having these seeds, like, planting these seeds of manifestations you wanted to have in the past, and them blossoming with your self-mastery that you're able to attain during this winter solstice, this winter time, being able to tap into the quiet moments to be able to see yourself for who you are, and developing that self-mastery over your emotions, and being able to actually work from a place and like that, being who you are now, that self-mastery of like, I see how I feel. I know how I feel. I'm having emotion, but I will not react from that, and I will think before I react, think before I do, and I will plot out and plan out the best course of action for me. And I see, you know, if you're able to do that, the abundance and the prosperity and the blossoming of your blessings coming into being later on in the year for you, and tapping into the wisdom of the divine feminine. All right. Just going to look at the cards more, see if I pick up anything else from this reading. Yeah, I'm picking up from the sacrifice card. The things that you experience, the sacrifices that you have dealt with and felt in the past, it all being worth it in the end if you're able to obtain your self-mastery. Because a lot of times when we experience things, people can do all types of stuff to us, right? And how we react to it is very important. Like, even though you may have been betrayed in the past, for instance, or whatever, how we react from it and how we grow from it, do we still come from a place of fear? Have we let that take over our lives? Are we not able to be kind to others now because we've been betrayed or hurt or mistreated in the past? What kind of people do we want to be? Are we able to overcome these swords stabbing this woman's heart in the card? Are we able to pull those knives out and live and grow and be in connection with our higher selves and higher source, and live in this light? And the earth healing card here, it's healing because we are all spiritual beings. We've all lived many lives. That's what I believe. I mean, maybe there are some new souls that is their first life or whatever, but we come here on this planet, we incarnate, we forget that we live these other lives. We were these beings on other planets and even on Earth, And so when things happen in this lifetime, it is very hurtful, and there is healing of the emotional body and our emotional selves in this lifetime that needs to happen. Oh, and the spiral here with the earth healing. There may be some ancestral patterns attached to the things that you may have experienced in this lifetime. So being able to heal that, because I remember we read the spiral card from the book, and it talked about the DNA. And so there may be some healing of our DNA, of our ancestral patterns that may help us, that we may be able to tap into. And it's coming from our teams. Our teams can help us with this if we ask for help, because they're here for us. And a lot of times, I talked about this, I think, in our spirit guide reading. These higher beings that we have as spirit guides, they will not interfere in our lives. And so we have to ask for help because they're so high vibrational. They're not a being that's just going to come and be like, hey, I can help you out and I can do this and do that for you. If you have a spirit guide doing that for you, be very wary of that as what their intentions are. So I'm just going to see if I can see anything else from the cards. Just any more intuition coming through. Okay, so with wisdom of the divine feminine and acceptance underneath. So with the lady that's the wisdom of the divine feminine, she has her dress is kind of open in a way, and like the décolleté is showing, but she has her hand over it. So she has an open heart, but she's able to protect it because she's able to, from a piece of clarity, from a place of clarity and peace, she's able to with keep an open heart, even though she knows that people may come and try to take advantage of it. She's able to protect it because of her insight, her wisdom, her intuition that she has. And so with this acceptance, and this is Lilith tends to be a lower vibrational feminine energy. She is not the divine feminine, which I'm not going to get into here. And so this snake being on this woman's dress here, she has an owl wing. She has an owl, the bird itself, with her. So it's telling me, these two cards combined, that even if tapping into your divine feminine, whether you're woman or man, we have divine masculine, divine feminine inside ourselves. Being within the wisdom of your divine feminine and tapping into that, tapping into your guides, your higher guidance, you're going to be able to keep your heart open, but protect it as well. So you'll be able to see any things that come up and try to harm you anyway, like this snake that's trying to slither up her arm, it appears. And so you'll have that wisdom to be able to see that. And that's one of the things that's very hard to do, is to reopen your heart and keep an open heart, a loving heart, but have those healthy boundaries and know when to protect yourself, know when to say no. And it's okay to say no. All right. Well, I hope that this winter solstice talk and reading has helped everyone that has listened. Keep what is relevant for you, and whatever's not relevant, you can leave that to the side. I wish all of you happy winter solstice, happy holidays, in case I'm not back before the end of the year. We'll see. So everyone take care, and bye.